Airports have a way of swallowing people whole. The voices on the loudspeaker, the rolling suitcases, the endless lines, everyone moving fast, everyone chasing something. Nobody really stops. Nobody really looks. Anna clutched the handle of her carry-on, weaving through the crowd. Her phone buzzed with the boarding reminder she had set for herself. 35 minutes until her gate closed. Just enough time to make it through security if she didn't waste a second. Her heart pounded at the thought. This wasn't just another flight. It was the flight that would take her to New York, to the interview she had been preparing for, the one chance that might change her future. She told herself not to slow down, not even for a breath. But as she passed the waiting area near her concourse, something caught her eye. An old man sat slumped in one of the metal chairs, his shoulders bent, his hand trembling on a wooden cane. A small suitcase leaned against his leg, battered from years of use. In his other hand, he gripped a water bottle, twisting at the cap with no success. His chest rose and fell unevenly, his face pale under the harsh airport lights. Anna's steps faltered. People streamed past her, families calling out, business travellers tapping their phones, kids dragging backpacks twice their size. Nobody stopped, nobody even noticed. She froze, her knuckles white around the handle of her suitcase. If she kept going, she'd make her gate. She'd stay on track. But the man's hand slipped, the bottle tumbling to the floor, and his weak attempt to reach it made her stomach twist. Her mind screamed to walk on, but her heart was already rooted to the floor. Anna stood frozen, her suitcase by her side, while the flow of travellers brushed past like a rushing river. Some glanced at her with mild annoyance for blocking the walkway, but most didn't look at her at all. No one looked at him either. The old man leaned forward in his chair, his cane sliding as he reached weakly for the bottle on the floor. His fingers barely grazed it before slipping away. For a second, Anna thought he might topple right out of the seat. Her chest tightened. 30 minutes until boarding. If she hurried, she could still make it. She could still sit on that plane, ready to step into the future she had dreamed of. But her feet wouldn't move. "Sir," she said finally, her voice uncertain, "do you need help?" The old man lifted his head slowly. His pale blue eyes met hers, weary but surprised that anyone had stopped. His lips curved into the faintest smile. "You're kind," he whispered. "Most people walk right by. My son usually travels with me, but he couldn't this time. He's busy and I didn't want to trouble him." The words struck Anna deeper than she expected. Busy. Didn't want to trouble him. It sounded so familiar, the way families in America often lived, scattered across states, lives tangled with work and distance. She thought of her own father, how she'd promised to call more often and rarely did. The old man coughed softly, his hand trembling against his chest. He didn't complain. He didn't ask for anything. He just sat there, small and fragile in the middle of a world too busy to notice. Anna's grip tightened on her suitcase handle. She could still walk away. She could still save her future. But the truth pressed against her chest like a weight. If she left, she would remember his face for the rest of her life. Anna bent down and picked up the bottle, twisting the cap open with a quick turn. She crouched beside him, holding it steady as he took a few careful sips. His hands trembled too much to keep it from spilling, so she guided it until he leaned back with a sigh of relief. "Better?" she asked softly. He nodded, his voice low. "Yes, thank you, miss." Up close, she could see how pale his skin was, how his coat hung too loosely from shoulders that had once been broader. The cane resting against his leg looked more like a lifeline than a tool. His suitcase, dented and faded, sat at his feet like it had followed him through 1,000 miles of waiting rooms and boarding gates. "I didn't mean to trouble you," he added. "I just get tired easier these days." Anna glanced at the clock again. 28 minutes. Her gait was calling her, but when she looked back at him, she knew she couldn't just brush this moment aside. She thought of the words he had said earlier, about his son being too busy to come. She wondered how often this man had to travel like this, alone, holding on to the hope that his body would carry him just far enough. "Are you sure there's no one here with you?" she asked. He shook his head gently. "No one. Not today." His lips pressed into a thin line, as if admitting it out loud took more out of him than the walking did. Anna's throat tightened. She wasn't sure if it was pity or fear of what might happen if she left him, but her body had already decided before her mind could. Her suitcase still stood by her side, the promise of her future waiting at the end of a gate she hadn't reached yet. But her knees bent lower, her hand resting gently on his shoulder. Anna adjusted the small suitcase by his feet so it wouldn't tip over. As she did, the zipper slipped just enough for a stack of papers to spill onto the floor. "Oh, sorry, let me get those," she said quickly, crouching to gather them. She lifted the first page. It was a discharge slip from a hospital, the kind printed on thin white paper with a bold heading at the top. Her eyes caught the words cardiology and follow-up required. She placed it back carefully, her fingers brushing against something else that had slid out, a photograph. It was old, the colours faded, but the image was clear. A younger version of the man, smiling proudly with his arm wrapped around a boy no older than 10. The boy grinned wide, his little league cap tilted slightly off-centre. The old man's breath caught when he saw the photo in her hand. His fingers trembled as he reached for it. "That's my son," he whispered, his voice thick. "We used to go everywhere together. Baseball games, road trips. Life gets busy though. He has his own family now, his own world." Anna looked at the photo, then at him. The ache in his voice wasn't bitter but heavy, like a weight he'd carried for years. She thought about her own family, how easy it was to let work, distance and excuses come between phone calls. She felt her chest tighten. She slipped the photo back into the suitcase, zipped it gently, and placed it back at his side. Before she could say anything, the airport loudspeaker crackled to life again, calling for passengers on her flight to begin boarding. Anna froze. Her gate was waiting. So was this man. The loudspeaker boomed overhead, sharp and unforgiving. Final boarding call for Flight 237 to New York. Anna's stomach dropped. That was her flight, the one she had been working toward for months. Her interview, her chance, her future, all waiting on the other side of that gate. She looked down at the old man, then back at her suitcase. Her hand moved automatically to the handle. If she grabbed it now, if she ran with everything she had, she might still make it. She could already picture herself sprinting through the concourse, sliding onto the plane just before the doors shut. But then she looked back. The old man's chest rose and fell in uneven breaths. His fingers clutched at the cane, his knuckles white. His eyes flickered toward her suitcase, and he gave her a weak smile. "You should go," he whispered. "Don't worry about me, I don't want to cost you anything." Those words sliced through her. He wasn't asking for help, he was giving her an out. He was setting her free to leave him behind. Somehow that made the choice even harder. Anna's throat tightened. The clock was ticking louder in her head than the airport announcements ever could. She thought of the years she had spent preparing for this moment. The applications, the late nights, the hope she had carried like fuel. And now, in front of her, sat a man who might not even make it to the next hour without someone to notice. Her hand slipped from the suitcase handle. The wheels bumped softly against the floor as it rolled an inch away. Anna crouched beside him, her voice steady though her heart was breaking. "I'm not leaving you." The old man blinked, his lips parting in surprise. For a moment his eyes shone with something unspoken, gratitude, or maybe relief. Anna didn't know what the next few minutes would bring. All she knew was that she had made her choice. Anna slipped her arm under his, steadying his frail body as he tried to stand. His knees shook, and for a moment she thought he might collapse back into the chair. She tightened her grip. "Lean on me," she said gently. The old man gave a faint nod, pride flickering across his face but quickly giving way to need. Step by step, she guided him through the concourse. His cane tapped against the floor, the sound unsteady, while her suitcase rattled behind them. Around them, the airport crowd flowed fast and uncaring, people weaving past without a second glance. By the time they reached the medical desk, Anna's arm ached from holding him up. A young employee jumped up from behind the counter, concern flashing across her face. "He needs help," Anna said, her voice firmer than she felt. The staff member hurried over with a chair and gently checked his pulse. "Sir, are you travelling alone?" The old man gave a slow nod. Anna noticed the hesitation before he added softly, "My son lives in another city. I didn't want to trouble him." The employee scribbled something on a form. "Do you have his number? We can call him for you." For a moment, the old man didn't answer. Then, with trembling fingers, he pulled a small flip phone from his coat pocket and handed it over. "It's in there," he whispered. Anna stayed beside him as the staff member stepped away to make the call. She hadn't planned on hearing that detail, that someone out there should have been here but wasn't. It tugged at her chest in a way she couldn't ignore. The old man's hand brushed against hers, his voice no louder than a breath. "It's been a long time since anyone held on to me like this." Her eyes burned, tears threatening to fall. She tightened her hand around his. For the first time since missing her flight, she didn't care about what she had lost. She only cared that he wasn't alone in this moment. "Dad!" The voice rang out, urgent and raw, cutting through the steady hum of the terminal. The old man's head snapped up, his cloudy eyes widening. Anna turned and saw a man in his 40s rushing toward them. His coat hung open, his tie crooked, his hair still wind-blown, as if he had come straight from the car without stopping. His eyes locked on the frail figure in the chair. In an instant he was there, dropping to his knees beside his father. "Dad, I'm here. I'm sorry. I should have been here sooner." His voice cracked, guilt spilling into every word. The old man gave him a tired smile, his hand lifting with effort to touch his son's arm. "You came, that's all that matters." Anna stepped back slightly, letting them have the moment. Her suitcase rested by her leg, forgotten, her heart caught between relief and something she couldn't name. She had imagined this man being utterly alone. Now she saw the truth. He wasn't without family, but even family sometimes could be too late. The son turned, finally noticing her. His eyes softened, confusion and gratitude mixing in his expression. "Were you the one who stayed with him?" Anna nodded, her voice low. "He needed help, I couldn't just walk by." The man's shoulders sagged. He looked down, then back at her. "Thank you. You have no idea how much this means. If you hadn't stopped..." He swallowed hard, unable to finish. The old man squeezed his son's wrist, then reached for Anna's hand, his touch light but deliberate. "If not for her," he said softly, "I might not be here to see you now." Anna's throat tightened. She wanted to say it was nothing, that anyone would have done the same, but deep down she knew the truth. Not everyone had. She had. The son stayed crouched beside his father, one hand gripping his shoulder as if afraid to let go. Relief and guilt mixed across his face, written in the lines of someone who had been too busy for too long. "I should have been here earlier," he whispered. "I shouldn't have let you travel alone." The old man shook his head gently. "You came, that's enough." Anna stood a step away, unsure if she should leave. Her chest ached with the weight of her own choice. The flight she had missed still echoed in her mind, every announcement from the loudspeaker a reminder of what she had lost. Yet, as she watched the old man lean against his son, she couldn't regret it. The son looked up at her again. "You gave up something, didn't you? A flight?" Anna nodded. "Yes, it was important, but he needed someone more than I needed that plane." His eyes softened, heavy with recognition. He glanced at her suitcase, then back to her. "Most people wouldn't have stopped. You did. That says a lot." Anna gave a small shrug, trying to downplay it. It just felt like the right thing. The old man reached for her hand once more, his fingers weak but warm. "Don't ever think it was small. You gave me time I might not have had." The words hit her like a stone in the chest. She blinked back tears, squeezing his hand gently before letting go. The son straightened, pulling out his phone. "Would you give me your number? I'd like to stay in touch. People like you don't just walk into our lives every day." Anna hesitated, then nodded, typing her contact into his phone. She didn't know if he meant it, or if it was simply gratitude speaking. Either way, she gave it. As they prepared to leave with the airport staff, Anna stood alone for a moment, her suitcase at her side. She had no plan now, no flight to catch, no idea what would come next. All she knew was that she had chosen compassion over ambition. 2 nights later, Anna sat at her small kitchen table, the glow of her laptop casting soft light on the half-empty mug of coffee beside her. The airport felt like a memory she couldn't shake. The sound of the loudspeaker, the feel of the old man's hand in hers, the look on his son's face when he arrived. She had walked out of that terminal believing she had lost her one chance. Missing the flight had cost her the interview she had worked months to secure. She told herself it was over, that sometimes sacrifice meant closing a door forever. Then she saw the new email. Her breath caught as she read the subject line, the very company she had dreamed of joining. With trembling hands, she clicked it open. "Dear Anna, we understand you were unable to attend your scheduled interview. We would like to offer you a new appointment at your earliest convenience. Your name was personally recommended to us by a trusted partner. We look forward to meeting you." Anna leaned back in her chair, pressing her hand over her mouth. A trusted partner. She didn't need to guess. She could picture him clearly, the son kneeling at his father's side, his eyes filled with guilt and gratitude. He had kept his word. He had made sure she wasn't forgotten. Relief washed over her, but it was mixed with something deeper, awe. She hadn't chosen to help the old man because she wanted something in return. She had chosen because it was right. And somehow, that choice had circled back to her in a way she never could have imagined. She closed her laptop slowly, her heart pounding. Her second chance was waiting. A week later, Anna stood in the lobby of a tall glass building in New York. Her palms were damp as she smoothed the front of her blazer. The nerves were real, but they felt different this time. Stronger, steadier. She had thought missing that first flight was the end of her dream. Instead, here she was, being given another chance. Not because she had fought harder, not because she had pushed her way forward, but because she had chosen to stop. The receptionist called her name, and she followed down a hallway toward the interview room. Each step echoed with quiet certainty. She wasn't here just as an applicant. She was here as someone who had made a choice that mattered. The interview itself passed in a blur. Questions, answers, polite smiles. But Anna spoke with a calm honesty she hadn't felt before. She didn't try to impress. She simply told her story, and somehow that was enough. When it was over, she stepped outside. The city buzzed around her, taxis honking, people crossing streets, the late afternoon sun casting long shadows on the pavement. She tilted her head back and let out a long breath, feeling lighter than she had in weeks. Her phone buzzed in her bag. She pulled it out, surprised to see a voicemail from an unfamiliar number. Curious, she pressed play. The old man's voice filled her ear, soft and unsteady but warm. "Anna, I don't know how to thank you. You gave up something precious that day for someone you didn't even know. My son told me you got another chance. Whatever happens, remember this. Sometimes the doors we think are closing are the ones leading us exactly where we're meant to be." Anna closed her eyes, a tear slipping down her cheek. She smiled, not because she knew the future, but because she finally understood. Some flights are meant to be missed. Lesson: this story isn't only about a missed flight or a second chance. It's about the power of slowing down in a world that tells us to rush. Sometimes, the choices that seem to cost us the most are the ones that give our lives the deepest meaning. Question: so let me ask you, if you were Anna, standing in that airport with your future on the line and a stranger in need, what choice would you have made? Thank you for spending this moment with us. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember to care for others along the way. See you again soon, here on Rain Inside.